Chapter 10 of Sputnik's Guide to Life on Earth by Frank Cottrell-Boyce with pictures by Stephen Lenton. Thank you, Macmillan, for letting me read it. Okay, are you ready for Chapter 10, Spanish lessons? They've just returned from rebuilding, or Sputnik has magically restored Hadrian's Wall, so it's no longer a ruin, it's a brand new wall, just as the Romans built it. They've got home and they're having chicken and mushroom pie. And one other thing I just wanted to remind you, in case you'd forgotten, that Prez doesn't speak. Now, he has conversations with Sputnik, but that's more because Sputnik kind of can read his mind. It's like telepathy. So they converse together. But to the outside world, to the Blythe family, to anyone else, Prez doesn't say a word. So that's just remember that, because I'd kind of forgotten, because we hear him talking in the book to Sputnik. Normally, during meals, everyone was talking at once, like, no phones at the table. I need to look up how to train a dog. Magic wand. Look it up after dinner. Oh, no magic wands at the table. Eat your peas. But that night, Jessie didn't say a word. She stared sadly into her mashed potato as if it was a sleeping ghost. Without Jessie, the conversation was more like, no phones at the table. Eat your peas. Why wasn't she talking? Because she was too busy thinking about Sputnik and how he always ignored her and went off with me instead. After tea, Sputnik sidled in through the back door. Ray didn't notice because he was searching the kitchen for the TV remote control. The mum was busy checking her Facebook group for lost dog notices. Sputnik found the remote control between the fridge and the sink and handed it to Ray. How did he even know I was looking for that? Said Ray. You know, I think Sputnik is unusually clever. He flicked the television on. I was expecting the news to be all about the traffic congestion at Hadrian's Wall. I worried a bit that there might even be a film of us, but there was no mention of any of it. Oh, looks like we got away with that, said Sputnik. Next few evenings, Jessie got quieter and quieter. The gaps where she would normally talk got bigger and bigger, then bigger. And after a while, you could hear people chewing. And after a while more, you could hear the cows chewing outside. When people are talking, I feel nicely invisible. When it's quiet, I feel everyone is looking at me. The silence was in my face like a spotlight. There were a few days of school left before we broke up. I was thinking, if I don't say something, we're going to have a silent summer. I wanted to stand up and say, please, can you go back to yelling at each other? Maybe I should have done that too, but one night while we were eating, Ray looked over at me, winked, and said, Did you all hear that about Prez and the school alligator? Jessie looked up. There's an alligator in Prez's school. Don't speak with your mouth full. Aye, would you credit it? Lives in the hot tub in the staff toilets. Anyway, apparently it got out and slithered into learning resources. School alligator opens its jaws and school alligator swallows the IT teacher while she's on the phone. And everyone is like, what are you going to do? Because no one knew what to do. But Prez jumps up on the table, prizes open the jaws with the leg of a flip chart and helps her out. She was so pleased she gave him 2 merits. Do you think that's true? Do you think that story really happened? Do you think there are alligators at school? I mean, obviously with Sputnik around, you never know. But Ray isn't in that world. Raymond, please don't tease Prez. Jessie pointed out that me and Raymond didn't even go to the same school. It's all over Facebook. I swear, he's practically a meme. Look, he's got the merits to prove it. Show her, Prez. The mum was looking at me. She was worried I was going to get upset. I rooted around in my backpack, got my homework diary and showed her 2 merits, as if that proved I'd wrestled an alligator. Everyone laughed, and I laughed too. And then they all went back to shouting, just like before. I leaned back in my chair and just listened. Amazing stuff that Prez did today became a thing. Ray did a different story every night at dinner. Like the time he said I'd won £500,000 in the school casino. There's a school casino? Yeah, don't you remember? Prez's school is the only one to have its own casino in the whole of southern Scotland. Anyway, the point is, Prez won £500,000. Prez has got £500,000, really? Not anymore. He staked the lot on Black 22, lost the whole pile. I pulled out my pockets to show that they were empty, like they must have been full once. Isn't that brilliant? So Ray just makes up these crazy stories that, as if they'd happened to Prez, and everyone at home listens to them and goes along with it, and they all have a good time. Wouldn't it be amazing if your school had a casino? You could do betting. Probably better not. You'd probably lose all your lunch money. All my days at school, other people had stuff I didn't have. They had nice phones, proper sports kits, brothers and sisters, mums and dads. Now I had something that no one else had. I had a friend who could float a shed on a gravity eddy and light cigars with a lightsaber. Knowing I had Sputnik, I felt like the secret millionaire. At school, other people had always had homework. I had work to do at home. I was learning things like how to cook, how to sort out Grandad's pension, how to answer all the letters he got from people he'd annoyed. The stuff you learned at school seemed far away and hard to do. But once you've learned to levitate a shed, lessons seemed easy. It's like Sputnik said, just follow the instructions. I actually tried it in Spanish, which was the very last lesson before the holidays. Mr. McAllister was handing out new textbooks for next year and doing his speech about how if any of us were going to Spain for a holiday, we should take the opportunity to speak a bit of Spanish to a real Spanish person. I went straight to the instructions, the bit at the back with no pictures and rules about grammar and tables of verbs. Straight away, the words there made me think of Grandad. He didn't speak Spanish to me at home, but loads of his favourite things had Spanish names. Paella, tortilla, chorizo, churros, cerveza. So those are all kind of Spanish foods. The words and the rules just went straight into my head like a tune, and they stayed there the way tunes do. When Mr. McAllister asked a question, ¿Cómo te llamas?, my hand went up. Hola, me llamo Prez. Voy a pasar el invierno con la familia Blythe en una hacienda en Knockerbrecks, que se llama Stramogy. Tengo un amigo nuevo, se llama Sputnik. Él también vive con la familia Blythe. Todo el mundo cree que él es un perro, pero no lo es. I was speaking Spanish, speaking it so quickly that even I couldn't understand what I was saying. Everyone was staring at me. Hablas español con un acento excelente. Gracias. Oh, so I need to do another school kid's voice now. How come he speaks Spanish really well when he never speaks English, sir? Is he actually Spanish? Pues, ¿eres español? Hombre, claro que no. I can't tell you what it's like to feel your mouth moving in the middle of your face and to hear words jumping out of it and bouncing around the room like foreign mice. Es que he leído las instrucciones. No, he's not Spanish. Well, sir, how come he talks Spanish so well? He says it's because he read the instructions. I guess he means the textbook. An example to you all. Sir, Murderball had his hand up. Sir, what's the Spanish word for granddad, sir? Abuelo. Can you say it? Abuelo, sir. And what's the Spanish word for mad, sir? Tonto. Why? So, mad granddad is abuelo tonto. Is that right? Sir, what about locked up, sir? How would you say your mad granddad got locked up? By now, everyone in the class was giggling. They knew Murder was trying to wind me up. The thing about Murder Bell is that he's in the temporary with me. Only he doesn't want anyone to know, so he picks on me. I mean, how scared do you have to be scared that someone who never speaks is going to tell people that you're a temporary kid? And that's the end of chapter 10. It's a short one, that one. But we get to learn a lot about Prez and how he is at school and his granddad. So he won't speak English, but Spanish, it all comes out. Well, I got a chance to practice my Spanish there, didn't I? Gracias. I don't know if you learned Spanish at school. Maybe if you did, you could have understood what he was saying. But I haven't translated it because Frank Cottrell-Boyce hasn't. So, there you go. I'll read chapter 11, Eggs, in a new video. Bye.